At the beginning, I would like to ask, do we have any non-Polish speaker in the room? Okay, that's right, so we'll continue in English, that's no problem. So, 2 words about me. I'm a founder of Wastelands Interactive. We are an indie company that is making strategy games. Until now, PC. Since this year, we are going to release the games on Linux, Mac, and everything. What can be released with Unity. If you are playing strategic games, maybe you have played one of those we have released or almost released. Worlds of Magic is the best known title of our games. Rest of them is pretty niche, but very popular amongst the hardcore war gamers. So I will tell a couple of words about why the human player is better than computer player. A couple of things, what the AI is doing in the game. And I will use some examples from our games that we have created. So, first of all, human player can try to imagine what will happen if he will do this or that. Not calculate, but try to think about many possibilities that will depend on his actions. Also, human can pretty easily improvise. He can react very swiftly on the current situation. He doesn't have to check what will happen and which option is better than the other. Also, what is very important, human player can save and load the game. That's something what AI can't do, and that's a huge advantage, especially in strategic games, because you can try out your tactics and try once again. So, when you are making a strategic game, and if you would like to make it, let's say, when you like to make it a good opponent, you have to think how many features, how many things can I do in your game. From my opinion, it is much better to decrease number of features in the game just to put a smaller pressure on the AI. Another aspect is that how complicated the AI will be. Is it going to be pretty universal? Will be reacting in pretty standard way on your actions? So more or less, more of your plays will be the same. Or are you going to teach the AI how to prevent the actions of the opponents? It doesn't matter, will it be human player or another AI player. As I said, the more complicated the game, the more time you have to spend to make a good AI that will be able to use all the features you will create in the game. For example, like sending airplane support or artillery support, or learning AI how to create spells for the future, which spells might be used in about like 20 turns. So you have to think you have to think that the more the features, the more connections between them, and the harder for the AI to use them properly to make it a good opponent that will not be a boy to be beaten. We are scripting our AI actions, a lot of them. I will tell you a little later about why we are using scripts, but it is something that we can't avoid we are not making the real artificial intelligence. We are making an opponent for a player to make the game fun. Yeah, that's the thing I already told you. Couple of times we have deleted some features created in the game just because the AI wasn't able to use it properly. We have made, that was design mistakes, but for the gameplay flow, it was better to just delete them, remove, than make the game even easier for the human player. In our upcoming game, Worlds of Magic, we have decided to create a couple of predefined characters that will be your AI opponents. And we are going to allow the player to create his own opponents. So, every AI will have its own personality. It will be based on character traits. It will be, some of them will be predefined, and of course they will be prepared by players. Every personality will have, except the traits, will have some sliders, and those will define, the sum of them will define how the AI will be acting in the game. Will it prefer to create large but weak armies, something like the Russians do during the World War II, or maybe smaller specialized armies based on quality? So just like one dragon against 16 spearmen, right? Those, of course, are examples. There's like 20 sliders. Another one is like creating the AI more aggressive, so they will try to attack everybody, or just defend in case of attack, don't do any diplomatic actions, no trading, just waiting and trying to expand around without interfering with other players. As we have got magic and crafting items in the game, some of the AIs can be very balanced, use both of those features, and some of the AIs can use one or second of them. Yeah, again, among many characteristics, we've got ones like alchemist, lucky, merchant, summoner, and every one of them is moving the slider that I told you about before, up or down. So when you are creating a new character, you can change the whole personality of the AI. So the player doesn't really see those sliders, but by his intuition and descriptions of those traits, he can change the personality. So all the decisions that AI makes is based on 3 axes. One of them we called like, don't like. So if the AI likes other AI or the human player, it's trying to use nice actions against it. So it trades, it doesn't, it helps during the wars. And if the AI didn't like other AI, it tries to attack as soon as possible. As soon as it's not afraid, I've got a mistake there. It's not afraid the other AI, and as soon as the war piece axis is in the correct position, so the AI don't like the other one, and it's not afraid, and the actions of the other AIs tells it to attack the opponent. In our games that we have released so far, we have set up the game in historical situations like World War II. Everybody heard about it, right? So we know that the Germans attacked Polish, French, and then Russia and some countries, and some other countries. So more or less we know how how the war looked like. From our experience, we have found out that the players, human players, expect that the games will be, historical games, will be more or less similar to the actual historical situation. So they don't like Ruskies in Paris in 1940. So we have to teach the AI how to work in those historical situations. We have to teach every script, actually. We have to script the AIs to attack the proper enemies and not to push them too hard, to give the player a breath to defend and to make the game really fun. We have also found out that the players like when the AI is not perfect. It shouldn't. It should make some mistakes, but those mistakes shouldn't prove that the AI is stupid and didn't know anything about leading an army. And to make the task easier for the programmers and for the designers, we are giving AI much more information than the human player can know. So we and other companies very often allow the AI to look under the fog of war or tell the AI how many resources the human player has got. Yeah, as I told you, we want the AI to go more or less within the historical paths. And from the feedback that we receive from the players, we know that it's very, very important, and it's more important than making the AI able to win. Because people want to replay the history rather than just playing the game. When we are scripting the AIs, we are making it in very, very simple ways, but those scripts can be very complicated at the final effect. So we are making a trigger, for example, based on if and end tags. So for example, we are triggering the AI to start producing new tanks if the enemy has got at least equal tanks, or in the specific year, or if it's going to declare war on another enemy, or any other situation we would like to put in there. And then is the effect. We might put many different effects like start producing those tanks, but we can also give the AI some tanks for free, just because we want to make the game fun. We want to make the AI to be a good opponent against the enemy, against the human player. It's not mine. No, that's fine. Excuse me. Also, the scripts are pretty important for us because if we made them very good mechanics, we can try new things, new solutions for the AI without getting programmers into the game. We're just putting a designer or another person who is able to manage the XML files or any other technology we'll use. And also we can put the modding community into creating some new solutions for us.
Question, if I may. You're using XML, or do you have any scripting language that anyone can use on the modding community, or only like based on data and XML files?
No, let's say it's our own solution, but it's pretty similar to Lua. It's very, I will turn it off. It's pretty similar to Lua, and it always has got a kind of manual, so you exactly know what to do and how to work with this. It's really simple if you are basic with any kind of coding, and if you are not programmer, didn't use the script languages or coding languages, programming languages, you can learn it in like 1 or 2 days. Yeah, and we are allowing the cheating, like extra units, extra resources, visible map, just because there is no perfect AI. I know that many developers are saying the AI is awesome, but it's not. The truth is that in my opinion, it's much more important to make a game that makes you fun and makes you enjoyable, rather than chasing the perfect AI that cannot be done. That was really a short introduction, and if you got any questions, just ask them. Yeah. I know there is not many developers making strategy games, but there might be something you'd like to ask about.
Any questions right here?
How many triggers have you scripted in Fallwise?
That's a hard question. I think there is like a few hundred of events. Few hundred. I don't remember at the moment. It's like, it's something about 300 events. And I think that dedicated for the AI is like 200 of them. But each event can have got a couple of triggers or different triggers based on different. So we can have like trigger that will change the AI when it captures a city or at specific date. So it's like 200 events. It's hard to say how many triggers is there really.
Any more questions?
How do you handle conflicting events that are caused by different triggers, but for example, a city shall produce a tank and an infantry unit, and how do you manage that? Is there some kind of probability system or?
Oh, actually, we are flagging the events, so you have to know all the events in the game. You don't have to remember them, how they work, but you have to know what events are there. We are putting them into just saving them in Excel files and prevent opposite events by slipping the other one. So if you got two events like produce infantry or produce tanks, if the produce infantry event is fired, then it turns off the produce tanks, and opposite way.
Any other questions?
You mentioned that it's basically impossible to create a perfect AI. We know it. I mean, probably everyone who tried making such an AI failed. But one question, because obviously you're talking about AI. Haven't you thought maybe about, let's make a simple AI, maybe not put all crazy features, may it not use all the features of the game, may it be poor, mainly for tutorial reasons, and then let's put more energy, more money into making better game, which is far more fun, for players that can enjoy it in multiplayer, for example. Have thought about such concept? Idea.
I think that if you are planning to make a single player part of your game, you should make sure that the single player is good enough to keep you out of multiplayer. Those are two completely different targets. We know that Like only 10 to 15% of our customers ever try the multiplayer. So if you want to have single player campaign or single player game, you need to make sure that the AI is able to be a good opponent for you.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? If not, Leszek, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you very much.
We're coming.